What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with a transfer update video, an early one on this Saturday morning. Breaking news this morning from Fabrizio Romano that Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Martin Zubimendi, the Real Sociedad midfielder. We've known about this story for a while. Famously nearly joined Liverpool last summer. Their fans weren't too happy when Zubimendi didn't join them. We heard back in January that this deal was very likely to happen, but we just thought at the time maybe it's PR to calm down the fans after being frustrated at not signing anybody in the January transfer window. But it has now come out early on this Saturday morning from Fabrizio Romano that we have agreed a deal to sign him. 60 million euros, which is £50 million release clause, will be paid, and Zubimendi will join Arsenal. Now, let's break down the story. Fabrizio Romano, he's put the story out this morning via his socials. Breaking news. Here we go, as Fabrizio would say. Arsenal agree a deal to sign Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. Here we go. Zubimendi has now verbally agreed to sign a long-term deal, so formal steps must follow soon with Arsenal to trigger the 60 million euro release clause. Zubimendi is ready to become the first signing of the new season. Now, obviously, as I just said, 60 million euros equates to 50 million pounds of Arsenal's budget. He's 26 years of age now. In the Euros final, he came on for Rodri and was fantastic. England couldn't really get the ball off him. You saw his quality, you thought, wow, what a player. That's probably the kind of player that Arteta wants in the six, and he wants Declan Rice to be that powerful box-to-box player. But then obviously we saw him play against Manchester United in the Europa League knockouts, and he got bullied by Casemiro, just physically was too strong for him. And that was a concerning performance because a lot of Arsenal fans were saying, well, he's not the biggest physically. How will he deal with the physical demands of the Premier League in that six role? If you look at players like Rodri, like Declan Rice, like Thomas Partey, Casemiro when he's played there, even though he's obviously past his best, they're all very strong physically players that can hold people off as well as play under pressure. We know Zubimendi can play under pressure, he's press resistant, but does he have that physical strength to deal with the challenges that the Premier League presents? That's going to be the question mark of him. Very interesting because Arsenal spent 105 million on Declan Rice, who we saw as the six at the time. He looks as if he's going to play that box to box role, and Arteta's going to look at Rice to score more goals. And Zubimendi is probably a better suited six to the way Mikel Arteta wants to play possession based football. So will be very interesting to see how Zubimendi does at Arsenal in that six role. Was linked with Arsenal 2 years ago, didn't happen. Then was linked with Liverpool a year ago, didn't happen. And he's now going to join Arsenal this summer. Sociedad not having a great season. So maybe he feels this is the right time for him to make that move, people. Just in terms of Zubimendi, 26 years of age, 32 league games this season, 2 goals, 1 assist, 5 yellow cards. He's a deep-lying playmaker. He's not clearly somebody that joins in and scores goals. Didn't score in the Champions League last season in 8 games and hasn't scored in the Europa League this season in 8 games. Currently earns £48,000 a week, which for Arsenal is light work. I would expect him to get £100,000 plus to come to Arsenal when you see the deals that we've given out before. £50 million, of course, as well. Expected to sign a 5-year contract at the club. This needs to work. This needs to work for Arsenal for a number of reasons. Is that Thomas Partey is having a fantastic season. What does that mean for him? Now, if Partey stays and is used in rotation, that's fair enough. If Partey is allowed to go to clear the wage bill, obviously we know that Jorginho is going. He's going to be coming into a pressurised situation because we've seen the level of Thomas Partey most of this season. It's been very high. We've waited for Zubimendi for a long time. We're expecting an upgrade. If I was Mikel Arteta, I think he would be very wise to keep Thomas Partey while Zubimendi is here. Then you don't have that same level of pressure on him. It allows him that 12 months to get used to the Premier League. Doesn't necessarily start every week. Sometimes you could play a double pivot, two DMs for protection, and you've still got that quality. I see him as a Jorginho type of player, but obviously younger, more mobile, somebody that can get about the pitch more. I think if you're going into next season with Rice, Zubimendi, Partey, Marino's still there, that's not bad centre midfield options. Um, Listen, for me, ideally, I would love to see Arsenal get somebody like Bruno Guimaraes or Barella, somebody that can create a little bit more. But I think he wants Rice in that box-to-box role. Marino would be Rice's backup. You've then got Zubimendi and Partey battling for the six, and maybe we need to add somebody in attacking midfield to go and challenge Martin Odegaard. So, yeah, it will be very interesting, the knock-on effect of this. I think what people have to understand as well, this is a release clause. The majority of this will have to be paid up front unless they can negotiate something with Real Sociedad. The Sociedad love fest continues, people. Martin Odegaard, who was signed after being on loan there. Marino's been signed from there. And now Zubimendi. The one that we actually want, really, that played for Sociedad is Alexander Isak, of course. But listen, Berta has stepped in. Maybe this deal was done before Berta even took the role, so I don't want to give Berta too much credit for this one. There were rumours that this deal was done as early as January when Berta was just sort of talking and joining the club a little bit later. So do I credit Berta for this deal as he got it over the line with Real Madrid lurking in the background, Xabi Alonso? Or was this deal done already? What I want to ask people, anybody that watches the Spanish national team or watches La Liga on a regular basis, how good do you think Zubimendi is? I'm going to be totally honest. I've probably watched Zubimendi play about 6 times in terms of like full 90-minute sit downs. The England final, watched him a couple of times for Sociedad last season, and I've watched him a few times this season for Spain and Sociedad. I can see what his qualities are. He's press resistant. He can start attacks. He takes the ball on the half turn. And Arteta clearly wants a midfielder to do that. That system, I think he feels is at its best when you've got that. Rodri does that for Manchester City. He wants Rice to be box to box, powerful, scoring goals, winning the ball high up the pitch. How good a signing do you think this is? With me, Arteta wants him. And I've said I want Arteta to get the players that he wants because I don't want any excuses. From what I've seen of him, I can see his quality. I'll reserve my judgment. Quality player on the ball. Can he deal with the physical demands and the speed of the Premier League? That is the question mark for me. But Zubimendi to Arsenal, here we go. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing more of these breaking news videos throughout the summer, hopefully, when we sign some brilliant attacking players. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button and subscribe, people. Bless.